Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Y'all come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Let's get started with tonight's fruit and salad challenge breakdown. And we're going to pick up right where we left off from yesterday. Today is day 1 of the challenge. And I just want to say thank you for everyone that joined. And I am so happy and so proud of the things that I was able to witness today for day 1 of the challenge. So come on in, come on in. I definitely want to talk about that aspect of the challenge first, and then we're going to dive into some of the other critical parts of this challenge to make sure that everyone's understanding, everyone's on board, and that we all can continue to move forward as a group to gain further understanding. As you can see, I'm cheesing and I'm laughing because man, the overwhelming turnout and support for everyone that's been showcasing their journey was like amazing. Like I've seen so many great pictures. I want to say hundreds of pictures from people that were displaying, you know, the steps they were taking throughout this challenge, all the fresh fruits from that they purchased, the salads that they were creating, them using the dressings without the salt, oils, and sugars. Every aspect of this challenge thus far, even though this is day 1, this is so amazing, mainly because of the engagement. The engagement is the biggest part of the mindset to help this shift and these health and create the environment for these health and lifestyle changes to stick. The engagement process is very, very important. And thus far in this challenge for day 1, the engagement was on 10 from every level. Everyone was showing up, posting their pictures, talking about what they're doing, documenting their journey through taking their blood pressure, writing in their journals. Every aspect, everyone has been hitting on all those. And I just want to say thank you and hats off to all of you guys that were actively participating in this process. Because one thing about it, and we talk about it every time, when you're in the process of creating change, you have to take part in your own healing. You have to be active in the healing process. And for those of you guys that are taking responsibility and are active in this process, I want to say thank you, because you're actively taking the steps that are needed to create this change in your lifestyle. So right now I got my tablet out and I'm going to get into the 7-day fruit and salad challenge. And this is going to be part of the educational aspect of this challenge. And we're going to be breaking down some of these different minerals, because one thing about it is the more you understand the ins and outs of the vitamins and the minerals that are essential for regulating your blood pressure, the more you understand them, the better you're going to be at actually incorporating more of them into your diet, improving your lifestyle, and allowing for them to work the way that they need to. So I got my tablet out, the 7-day fruit and salad challenge ebook. I have it right here. I'm going to go to the front page so you guys can see the ebook right here. That way, for those of you that joined the challenge, you should be able to pull up your ebook. If you have a second device, you might be able to pull it up on that device. If not, you can follow along with me. And then whenever you get the time, just go back to and research the information. That way you can continue to, download some of this information and continue to apply it and use it throughout your day-to-day lifestyle. So what I'm going to get into now, without dragging all this stuff out, I'm going to dive right into our different minerals. The previous week, I think the last Friday, we talked about potassium. So I'm going to move past potassium and I'm going to go right into our next mineral, which is going to be magnesium. We're going to talk about the effects of magnesium and blood pressure. That way you'll be able to start to connect the dots between this mineral, understand the role that it plays, and also understand how to get this mineral, what you can consume to help your body in these different areas. Because one question I always get is what type of magnesium to take, because there's so many different types of magnesium. And the simple answer to this is don't take any magnesium. You want to eat the foods that are high in magnesium and let your body make those different combinations of magnesium that needs to occur naturally. You don't need to worry about a specific isolated compound or type of magnesium. Eat foods that are rich in magnesium and let your body do that work for you. Don't worry about the supplements and trying to figure out the A's and the Z's and everything else that's in between. It's more so about eating the foods that are high in magnesium, eating a different variety of foods, and your body will do that math for you. It will figure the rest out. You just have to give it those raw materials. So don't worry about what type of magnesium to consume. Eat the whole foods that are high in magnesium, and your body will do the hard work for you. So now I just turned to the magnesium page. I'm going to dive right into reading a little bit of what we have here. That way you can understand a bit more about magnesium, and I'll continue to dive in and break down everything there. So if you guys are following along, just put a 1 inside of the chat. That way I can make sure that everyone can hear me clearly. They're following along, and they're ready to actually get things going. So if you can hear and you can see and everything is good and we're ready to go, put a 1 in the chat, and then we'll definitely keep going from there. And if anybody wants to also come on and talk about their journey so far or have any questions, feel free to send me a request in one of these little boxes down here. I think it's this one right there. Send me a request and I'll bring you on live. That way you can talk about your journey, some of the things that you're experiencing, and I'll be able to answer some questions for you as well. So right now I'm going to dive right into the magnesium solution. That way we'll talk about it. And if any questions, also just drop it in the chat and we'll go from there. So let's go. Magnesium, an essential mineral, plays a vital role in maintaining heart health and managing high blood pressure. This versatile nutrient is involved in numerous physiological processes that contribute to cardiovascular well-being. Here's a closer look at the connection between magnesium and high blood pressure. Blood pressure regulation. Magnesium helps regulate blood pressure by promoting the relaxation of blood vessels. It supports vasodilation, which reduces resistance to blood flow and helps lower blood pressure levels. Sufficient magnesium intake is associated with better blood pressure control as a whole. The next one, muscle and nerve functions. Magnesium is essential for proper muscle and nerve functions, including the relaxation of smooth muscles in blood vessels. Adequate magnesium levels help prevent excessive constriction of blood vessels, maintaining healthy blood pressure. I'm going to read that again. Adequate magnesium levels help prevent excessive constriction of blood vessels, maintaining healthier blood pressure levels. So when your magnesium levels are low, your blood pressures are constricting, and this is causing the radius of the blood vessels to continue to narrow. And one thing about it is, as those blood vessels continue to constrict and get narrow, the heart still has to pump and get that blood through those vessels. So what the heart ends up doing is pumping a whole lot harder and overworking itself, trying to continue to push the blood through these vessels. So understanding that magnesium is a critical mineral that's directly associated with helping the blood vessels dilate so that blood can flow through smoothly. So when you're low in magnesium, this is part of the problem that's occurring, that's triggering the blood pressure to rise. Number 3, inflammation and arterial health. Chronic inflammation and arterial stiffness can contribute to hypertension and cardiovascular disease. Magnesium has anti-inflammatory properties and helps improve arterial health by reducing inflammation and promoting flexibility of the arterial walls. And basically what that means is when there's inflammation in between the arteries become stiff. And I could liken that to, this is kind of loose. I could liken that to like a fire hose or a water hose. When you turn on the water hose gets nice and stiff and the water is flowing through. And when it's stiff, the pressure is a lot higher. Just like when you bend that hose and the pressure builds up, and when you let it go, the water goes spraying out. It gets a whole lot higher. So when that inflammation is there, the blood vessels are a whole lot stiffer, and this causes for an increase in pressure because the blood vessels are not relaxed enough for the blood to flow through smoothly. So understanding that magnesium, when you consume it in its whole form, particularly, it helps with the softening of the blood vessels to make sure that they're nice and smooth and relaxed, so the blood can flow through appropriately. And when the blood is flowing through the right way in a more uniform approach, this takes the pressure off the heart, and this allows for your blood pressure to come down. So we have to understand that magnesium and plus all these other minerals, they all have a job to do within the body. And if you're consuming a diet that don't have these minerals, you're going to find yourself facing a deficiency. And this type of deficiency contributes to high blood pressure. And then it also leads to other problems because, again, magnesium just isn't involved in the blood pressure regulations. You got for muscle and nerves function, arterial health, and a few other things as well. So understanding when you start eating more whole foods that are high in these nutrients, this is going to allow for your body to start to recover and strengthen itself as a whole. And we understand that there are a combination of minerals that play different roles. When you start building up these nutritional storage across the board, your body's going to get better as a whole. And as a side effect, your health is going to get better and your blood pressure is going to get better as well. Because again, these are lifestyle changes for your overall health, not just specifically for your blood pressure. This is going to help fix any other issue and conditions that you're also dealing with. But understanding that these minerals play a role throughout your whole body and not just specifically for your blood pressure. So we're going to keep going and turn in. Any questions, feel free to drop it inside of the chat. Number 4, electrolyte balance. Magnesium works closely with other electrolytes such as potassium and calcium to maintain balance in the body. And remember, we've talked about the other electrolytes or minerals that play a role in blood pressure: calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, zinc. All those play a role in there, and they play a role closely together. All these things are so connected that when there's a deficiency in one, it throws off everything else and leads to a domino effect of issues that continue to occur. So it's not all about just getting one mineral. That's why taking a potassium or magnesium supplement never really solves the problem. So we have to understand eating more whole foods that are high in all of these minerals is going to build those nutritional storages back up, allow the body to get back in alignment, and this will help straighten out a lot of those blood pressure issues that many people are facing. And one thing that I want to say as well is that not everybody have a deficiency that's contributing to the blood pressure issues. Some people may have to dive a little bit deeper, but for many people, just simply getting the right nutrients to correct this issue is going to help them solve their problem. And that's why we're going through this challenge to start moving forward in the right direction. So electrolyte balance, magnesium works closely with other electrolytes such as potassium and calcium to maintain balance in the body. This balance is essential for proper nerve signaling, muscle contractions, and overall cardiovascular function. To ensure optimal heart health and blood pressure management, it's important to include magnesium-rich foods in your diet. Good dietary sources of magnesium includes green leafy vegetables such as spinach, kale, nuts and seeds such as almonds and pumpkin seeds, legumes, whole grains. Those are all things that are high in magnesium. So understanding that these are options that's going to help you get the magnesium that you need for your body. Now, one thing that I always point out is that throughout this challenge is that when we build our salads, we don't want to just use romaine lettuce or spring mix. Those are all fine. They're okay, but they're not going to give you that value that your body needs at the highest level. So understanding that when you're looking to get the most bang for your buck with the foods that you're consuming, you want to go for those dark leafy greens, those kales, the Swiss chard, the spinach, the arugula. Those are all power greens. And the best strategy that you can use is getting a combination of each one and putting it in your bowl. So having a small amount of kale, a small amount of arugula, a small amount of spinach, and a small amount of Swiss chard, all inside of your bowl, nice and massaged up so it's nice and tender and easy to digest. That's going to give you a bowl that's full of every vitamin and mineral and nutrient that pretty much, I'm going to say everyone. It's going to give you a wide diversity of vitamins and minerals that your body needs, including the fiber and the water and the enzymes and everything else there to help tip the scale in your favor. Because the Swiss chard is high in the potassium. The kale is high in the magnesium and the potassium. They all have the sodium inside of it. It's going to give you everything that you need plus some. And it's going to provide your body with the tools that it needs to function at the highest level. So when you opt for those power greens instead of just for the romaine or the spring mix, you get a more diverse bowl of minerals, and this is going to be a lot more beneficial. 1 cup of Swiss chard has about 900, almost 1,000 milligrams of potassium. So understanding that 1 or 2 cups of these is going to help you reach those numbers a lot faster. And by simply just incorporating more of these into your diet every day, like for the challenge, you're going to get in the groove of having these rich salads and allowing for your body to get back in alignment and build up its nutritional storages. So we should all be focusing on having those power greens, getting comfortable with them, because a lot of us are not comfortable with handling kale or these different type of greens because of the stems and how tough it may be. So understanding that gently massaging them before you consume them or before you put anything else on top of them, this is going to allow for them to become a lot tender when you chew them. That way it's not like you're chewing on a boot or a shirt or something like that, you know. It gets a lot softer, a lot easier to digest. It starts the digestion process right in the bowl. That way when you're chewing on it, it just goes down a lot smoother and a lot easier. And now your body can readily digest it, absorb it, assimilate it, send the minerals where it needs to go, and eliminate it efficiently without jamming you up in any type of way, because breaking it down is a big part of it to make it a lot easier. So understanding that salad mixture, those greens are very important. So nothing against the kale, nothing against the romaine and the spring mix. I have nothing against it, but they just don't pack that punch like that salad blend. I've been using this salad blend myself for like the last 5 or 6 years. Very powerful blend, and it's something you can simply get at the store. You can even get the organic version for like $2.50. It's as simple as that, $2.50. Organic kale, organic Swiss chard, all those on the stem, on the stalk. All you have to do is basically break it down, rip it with your hands, put it in a bowl and massage it, and it's going to help you overcome a lot of these issues. And it's going to go right back into our lesson inside of the ebook. It's worth noting that individual magnesium needs can vary, and certain medical conditions or medications may affect magnesium levels in the body. Basically what that means, if you're taking medication, it can affect magnesium levels, specifically diuretics. When you consume diuretics, a diuretic job is to basically eliminate the excess sodium from the body. And what it does is it helps the body eliminate the excess water. The sodium gets flushed out through the urine, and that's pretty much how diuretics work. But as a side effect, what happens is other electrolytes get caught up in this process. Potassium and magnesium as well, they get flushed out of the system. So that's why when many people are dealing with water pills or diuretics, hydrochlorothiazide, they're dealing with multiple deficiencies, or they're causing other deficiencies based off of their consumption of these pills, because these pills' job is to basically shortcut the whole process, eliminate the excess sodium, but everything gets caught up in that cycle, and it slowly starts to create a deficiency, and it triggers a domino of issues to occur later down the line. And the thing is, it doesn't necessarily occur a month later or 2 months later. It's usually over time, a couple years, 2 years, 3 years, because usually what happens is a person gets on these pills, they start taking just a simple water pill. They're on it for maybe a year or 2 or maybe 3, and then before you know it, the doctor say, oh, your blood pressure is getting worse. I got to give you another pill because of X, Y, and Z, whatever particular issue that started to manifest. Now you're on a second pill. It just started with you taking the one diuretic for whatever particular reason, and now you're on a second pill or a third pill. They boost you up to a calcium channel blocker because of the things that are starting to occur. The pills have become ineffective, and they cause other issues. So it's very important to understand that pills come with side effects, and these side effects are triggering, and they eventually lead to further complications down the line. So understanding that this is not a plea to stop taking your pills. By all means, this doesn't mean stop taking your pills, but this means that you need to get yourself in alignment to start correcting the issue at its root cause, because those pills ultimately are causing, and they're ultimately triggering other issues that are going to manifest. Because when your body is low on potassium and magnesium, this creates an imbalance that leads to elevated homocysteine levels. And what homocysteine is basically a compound that the body needs to actually create other chemicals to just handle other functions. But when these homocysteine levels start to increase, now this causes more oxidative stress, And the oxidative stress ends up damaging the blood vessels even more. And the side effect of this damaging blood vessels leads to a higher blood pressure because the blood vessels are not able to stay loose and relax and dilate when they need to because they're damaged. So this is a triggering effect that leads to a domino effect of actions that occur, and all of them are negative when it comes down to your overall health. So actively working to correct this deficiency through the consumption of whole foods is by far going to be the best method instead of solely relying on pills to handle this problem. Because if you're solely relying on those pills, I can guarantee you that your issue is going to grow larger and larger and larger. That's going to require more pills, more medical intervention, and be a lot harder to get off of. Whereas you can simply just start eating more whole foods and applying other lifestyle tactics and strategies and start rebuilding your body and working your way up to actually get off of the pharmaceutical medications. Yeah, I need some water. Low magnesium levels, also known as hypomagnesemia, may result in various side effects and symptoms. Here are some common manifestations of low magnesium: muscle weakness and muscle cramps. Magnesium is essential for proper muscle functions and relaxation. Inadequate magnesium levels can lead to muscle weakness, twitches, spasms, and cramps. So if you may dealing with low magnesium, you might have experienced this multiple times, having muscle weaknesses and twitches. For me, I remember when I was dealing with this type of issue, I would get a twitch right up in this area. My eye would twitch and it would just bother me like randomly throughout the day. And a lot of times I wasn't able to connect the dots between these little twitches and glitches that was happening. And as I began to learn more about these things, I was able to say, oh man, maybe this is related to this, and maybe I can try to improve in this area. And the moment I did start doing something about it and started focusing on that particular problem, I started to get better. I started to find my body not having those small issues anymore because I started to focus in and provide my body what it needs. So we're going to go through this whole list of things that are there. That way you can start to connect your dots for yourself. And for those of us, if you have these tools, this is what this is for. Use your tools, break it down, understand more about what you're dealing with, because the better you understand your condition, the more likely you're going to be able to overcome the problem. So number 2, fatigue and weakness. Low magnesium can contribute to overall fatigue, weakness, and a general lack of energy. So if you're someone in that category where you barely have the energy to do the basic things that you need per day, most likely your magnesium levels are contributing to this. It's not the only cause, but it's contributing to it somewhere down the line. So when you start eating those whole foods and getting those vitamins and minerals and enzymes, you're going to not only get the magnesium, but you're going to get the potassium, and all the other electrolytes and the antioxidants that are all going to be working in your favor to bring your levels up. And that's going to boost your energy levels and improve your overall vitality. So understanding that it's bigger than just taking a pill. It's a combination of efforts that need to take place in order to allow your body to rejuvenate itself. Number 3, irregular heartbeat. Magnesium plays a critical role in maintaining a normal heart rhythm. Insufficient magnesium levels can disrupt the electrical signals in the heart, potentially leading to palpitations or irregular heartbeats and arrhythmias. So understanding that it's a domino effect of things that can occur all because of this type of deficiency. So if you're experiencing it, don't be afraid to investigate, because it's your body. You have to live inside of you. So if you know you got irregular heartbeats and you're dealing with these type of conditions, you have to be willing to investigate and figure out where it's at. Because if you allow for a doctor to investigate, he can go ahead and sign you up for another prescription just to handle that particular issue. And what's going to happen is that prescription is going to help you in that particular area, but now it's going to cause another problem on the back end, because all prescriptions come with side effects. It tells you on the bottle. It's going to tell you it's going to cause leaky gut. It's going to give you some diarrhea. It's going to give you erectile dysfunction. It's going to cause whatever it's going to cause. It tells you what is going to happen. Prescription pills tell you they're going to hurt you. And people still take them, one, because they don't know any better, or they're just trying to deal with the problem that's at hand. But don't feel like you don't have options, because you do have options. But it's all about you being willing to understand what your options are and work towards getting to the problem. So understanding that these types of things are something that occur with magnesium deficiencies is important. Number 4, nervous system disorders. Magnesium is involved in nerve function and transmissions. Low magnesium levels can cause symptoms such as irritability, mood changes, anxiety, and even neurological disorders in severe cases. It's a combination of things, folks. It's involved throughout the whole body. It's just not a blood pressure thing. It's a combination of things. It's not just here to regulate blood pressure. It has many other functions throughout the body. And once it starts being deficient in one area, it affects you as a whole. That's why when you take blood pressure medications, they only focus on a target area and a specific thing, control the number. They don't help you as a whole overall. Whereas when you eat whole foods, it provides you with everything that your body needs. The fiber, the water, the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, everything that's going to help your body work and function properly. Your body's going to be able to properly absorb them. It's going to be able to your body's going to work to properly digest them, absorb them, assimilate them, and eliminate whatever it doesn't need in that same order. So eating the whole foods is going to be your best option. And that's why the 7-day fruit and salad challenge is laid out for you to get comfortable with this process. And the main thing that you have to take from this challenge is that this is not just a 7-day challenge. Your problems are not going to be fixed in 7 days. But your job is to develop the habits and the skills to be able to continue to build on this process. This 7 days is a starting point. When this 7 days is over, I should still be seeing you guys posting pictures of your fruits and your salads and doing the encouraging things to help you continue moving forward. That's how you're going to rebuild your body, improve your blood pressure, and work your way off with the pharmaceutical medications. This is a process. All of you guys are here for a reason, because you don't want to deal with the pills and the trauma and everything else that comes with it. Follow the pathway, continue with the process, and keep taking the steps forward. That's what it's all about, doing the things that are needed. You're not going to be able to take anything to fix this problem. You have to be willing to do it. And if you're here watching this video, you're already showing that you want to do it and you're here for it. So continue down the right path and do the things that you need to do. Number 5, poor appetite and nausea. Low magnesium levels can lead to decreased appetite and feelings of nausea, which may result in unattended weight loss or difficulty maintaining a healthy diet. Number 6, weak bones. Magnesium is necessary for maintaining proper bone health. Inadequate magnesium levels can contribute to decreased bone density and an increased risk of osteoporosis. Number 7, abnormal blood pressure. Magnesium is involved in regulating blood pressure. Low magnesium levels may contribute to increased blood pressure or worsen existing high blood pressure problems. So again, tying that all in, it's all about the body as a whole. Because again, the magnesium deficiency might not necessarily be the triggering aspect, but there's a guarantee that it's related to everything else that's going on. So instead of trying to isolate a mineral that's deficient and taking a supplement for it, focus on your body as a whole. You cannot isolate a different part of the body to try and heal it, because everything is connected. If I'm dealing with kidney issues, I can't do one thing just to fix my kidneys, because these kidney issues eventually, they ultimately affect my whole body and my overall health. So how do I fix my kidneys? By improving my overall health. How do I improve my overall health? By making lifestyle changes. I have to improve the way that I live, improve the way I eat, improve the way I sleep, get more exercise, get more sunlight, start building better relationships, working on my emotions. Those are all beneficial in many different pathways. And the beauty of it is that once you understand how they work and how to apply them, lifestyle changes are free. You just have to learn how to utilize your way of life to heal yourself. Making the nutritional changes is just simply buying different food, understanding why you're buying them, and applying them strategically to help you. Building better relationships is all about connecting with your spouse that's right next to you. Going to see your mother or your grandmother. Having a deeper connection with your children. It's all about just focusing on what matters the most. And that's what lifestyle changes are about. They're all about the way that you're living your life. And when you look at our society nowadays, many people are just simply out of alignment, not because they want to, but just because of how the world goes. A lot of us spend 10 hours, 12 hours at work, working hard, being stressed out over many different things. Then we come home and we're disconnected from our spouse, and we got to worry about bills and other troubles, and the stress level just continues to elevate. There's a lot of things going on. So understanding that if you want to create change in these issues that you're dealing with, you have to be able to take a step back, understand what your specific challenges are, and work in those areas. So if you're dealing with nutrition or you're dealing with some weight issues, you know you got to watch what you're eating. Maybe adopt some fasting so you can help get through this process. If you're dealing with stress, you know you need to work on your stress management techniques. You need to deep dive into, understanding what your triggering aspects are. If you know you don't get enough exercise or move enough, you got to get in that avenue. So those are different things that you just have to understand how to apply when it comes down to your overall health, because that's how you get rid of these lifestyle conditions. And high blood pressure is a lifestyle disease. When you improve your lifestyle, the blood pressure issues go away. And that's for about 95% of people. There are other people that have these genetic issues, or they've manifested to bigger problems, and it's going to take a little bit more work. But for the majority of cases, making lifestyle changes will allow you to work your way off of those blood pressure medications and improve your overall health. And there's a list of magnesium-rich foods that's right here. I'm not going to go over that list, mainly because if you guys have this this ebook, because you signed up for the challenge, this list is here for you to just incorporate into your day-to-day lifestyle. This list is filled with foods that are high in magnesium, potassium, calcium, zinc, all those different things. They're there for you. That way you can start adding the ones that you like to your grocery list and having them in the house, and adding them to your snack foods, and just some more healthier options as you move forward. All these things are there for you. These are tools. And when it comes down to it, groups like this and challenges like this, it's all about giving you the tools. So you guys signed up for the challenge, you have the tool. Now you got to use it. It's as simple as that. I can't make you use it. I can't force you to use it. I can't tell you anything else outside of this is for you. It's located in your inbox. I sent it to you if you signed up. Utilize your tools so you can continue to get better at understanding your blood pressure. And as you stay in this group and continue to follow along, document your journey, and participate in these challenges, you will see yourself getting better. Because one thing about it, whatever level of change that you create in your body is going to respond. If you make small changes, you get a small response. If you make big changes, you're going to get a big response. It's up to you for the type of change that you're looking for. It's as simple as that. What else we got? So that's all of magnesium there. And today is it's the first day, it's Monday. So we got a few other minerals that we need to go over. I'm not going to drag this live video out for you guys, because I think we hit a few good PowerPoints there. But if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat, and that way I can answer them for you, and we could get going from there. I got a question that's here. Miss Sandra, I'm going to try to bring you in. And it says, unable to add guests. They can't join your broadcast at this time. So if you wanted to join the broadcast, go ahead and click it in. I'll bring you in. But Miss Sandra, I'm not sure what happened. If you send another request, I'll try to approve you so you can get in. But if you want to join the broadcast and have any questions or any comments, right now is the time. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And that way I can answer them for you and help you guys stay on point when it comes down to moving through this challenge. And I remember last time my questions didn't pop up right away, and they showed up. Like a couple minutes later. Okay, I think I see them now. Not getting the option to send stars. I'm not sure exactly why that happens. Yeah, I'm not even sure how that actually works, but I apologize. I'm not sure how the stars work. I know I put the thing and I activate it up there, but usually it pops up maybe after the live video ends or something like that. What else we see? Miss Catherine Thomas, can I get muscles without meat? I don't have the book paid for last week. Miss Catherine, I can tell you 99% of the time that the book is most likely inside of your inbox. If you didn't see it there, please check your spam folder. Usually what happens is sometimes if I'm not on your contact list, that book can get sent to that email can get sent to your spam folder, mainly because your inbox doesn't necessarily recognize who it's coming from. So check your spam folder first. If you don't see it there, send me a DM, and in that DM, just include your email address, and I'll go ahead and send it back out to you again. That way you can get the tools that you need to continue to move forward. What about vitamin D? Vitamin D deficiency, the best place is always going to be from getting sunlight. It's as simple as that. There's other foods out there that may be fortified with vitamin D and things like that. That's cool, but getting outside and getting some sun is going to be the best way. Right now, most places are heating up and it's nice and hot for the summer. The sun is out. Get outside, get some sun. You could opt to do some sunbathing, or you could just simply get outside and get some exercise, create some movement for yourself. Simply getting out in the sun 20 to 30 minutes per day is going to allow you to build up those vitamin D levels, and understand that this process works rather quickly. But there's one thing that you should understand. When it comes down to vitamin D deficiencies, if you're dealing with gut issues, this can affect the assimilation of vitamin D within the body. So if let's say you got any type of gut issues, this can have an impact on you in different ways. So understanding that if you're out in the sun, you get exercise, and your vitamin D levels are still low, this could be directly related to a digestive issue that you have, because many people that have digestive issues as well, they are triggering, and they don't allow the body to properly assimilate and create the vitamin D that it needs. So dealing with those gut issues by eating more fiber and honoring a fasting routine can help you move this process along to properly get the vitamin D that you need to correct those issues. My doctor said I'm deficient in vitamin D. Should I take vitamins? Vitamins, again, they only focus on one nutrient, that vitamin D. And remember, taking a pill is not the same as letting the sun rain down its blessings on you and nourishing your body as a whole. Taking a pill just to get that synthetic vitamin D is not the same action. So understanding that, it's just a mindset thing. What type of approach you want to take? You want to go and take pills to add them to your collection of pills that you're already taking, or you want to focus on a more natural alternative that these pills are mimicking, So getting out there in the sun and allowing that to happen just requires some consistency, and just getting and building this type of habit, because this is a health promoting habit. Understanding how to properly harness the sun, meaning that you don't want to go out there like me in long sleeves and think that the sun's going to penetrate and hit the body as a whole. Go out there in a tank top, or go out there in a shirt with that's minimum, that's going to allow for your body to be exposed. Go out there in some shorts that's going to allow for your legs to be exposed. And what's going to happen is this is going to allow for the sun to hit you in many different ways. And now your body's going to be able to absorb more of the UV rays, convert it into vitamin D. This is going to have a domino effect of many things throughout the body. The vitamin D is going to, the UV rays are going to hit the skin. Once it hit the skin, it's going to release some nitric oxide. The nitric oxide is going to go into the blood vessels. The blood vessels are going to dilate, and the blood's going to start flowing through a lot smoothly. The blood pressure is going to come down. And now when you consistently do this, now you got your blood pressure just going down in increments, and this habit is going to keep you in a steady flow of lowering your blood pressure and stabilizing it through this pathway. So understanding that it's just a part of just building your lifestyle. 5 days a week, get out there, get some sun. I do it every Monday through Friday. I go out there, I go in a nice slim shirt, some shorts, put my running shoes on, and I take off for 20 or 30 minutes, and I run around my neighborhood for about 3 or 4 miles. That's my method of doing it. Not saying you got to go run 4 miles or so, but I'm saying go out there with the intentions of 20, 30 minutes, however you want to do it. Even if you don't have the time, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, break it down, get out there, get some sun, and watch how your body responds to what you're doing. Next one. Although I also eat fruit, are you advising against juicing? I'm not against juicing. Reason being, juicing is very good. Juicing works for you. Only thing that juicing does do, it kind of overloads you with vitamins and minerals, which for most people, it's not really a bad thing. When you juice, basically you're removing the fiber and you're just taking everything else. So essentially, it causes a reaction in the body, not a bad reaction. Now, again, I'm not saying anything's wrong with juicing. So think of it this way. You take 7 apples, and let's say you got 2 bowls, a bowl with 7 apples here and a bowl with another 7 apples. You take these 7 apples, you put them in the juicer, you press them down, it gives you a 32-ounce gallon of juice. A 32-ounce juice, I'm gonna say gallon, 32-ounce juice. You drink that 32 ounces of juice, you're gonna get the water, the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, but you're not gonna get the fiber. So what's gonna happen is that juice is gonna rapidly enter into your digestive system. There's not gonna be any fiber to slow it down. It's gonna give you a slight increase in your blood sugar levels. And now the body's gonna rapidly assimilate it and send it out to wherever it goes. There's not much when it comes to the rate of digestion. So in most people, it's okay. It doesn't cause any problems. If someone's dealing with blood sugar issues, they're definitely going to see a spike in it, and they probably should stay away from juicing depending on like what level of issues that they're dealing with. But let's say if you were to take that other 7 apples and eat them instead of juicing them, it's going to give you a totally different effect, mainly because of the fiber that's still in there. You're not going to be able to sit there and eat 7 apples back to back because your stomach is like this big. And 7 apples in your stomach you're going to be full. You're going to crunch over and hurt before you actually get all of them in. And what happens is the fiber and the water and everything else from these apples, it causes a different effect throughout the body, and it allows for a different type of stimulation. In turn, it's stimulating all of your organs of elimination and allowing for you to go through this whole process. The fiber is going to go through. It's going to pull and scrub out that excess cholesterol inside of the gut lining. It's going to pull out all the other things inside of your digestive tract, help clean out your alimentary canal, and it's going to have many other benefits. So I'm not saying anything against juicing, but eating the whole foods is just going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a lot better, actually. And the main thing about it is that it's easier for people to say, let me get a juice and drink a juice and get these nutrients. Eat the whole foods. It's as simple as that. Because before juices were invented, it wasn't really juicing like that. Follow a more natural approach with eating the whole foods to allow you to actually do what you need to do. I let my cat in. Hold on, y'all. Why you knocking on my door, man? My cat come and knock on my door more than my children, man. But yeah, eating the whole food is going to be the best option. You can add some juices to the routine if you like. Again, I'm not saying anything bad against juicing. I juice quite often. I love juice. I prefer it as my best hydrating option over water, outside of coconut water, but over water. But through this challenge, it's all about adding more whole foods to the diet and focusing on them particularly. What else we got? What about sea moss? Miss Karen Hudson. I got crucified over my opinion about sea moss a while ago, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you guys again. When you think about sea moss, I think it's a Band-Aid. Not saying that it don't work, but I think it's a Band-Aid, mainly because most people that take sea moss, they don't necessarily have the mindset or the skill set to do what's really needed to help them. You might see an increase in energy. You might see most people see an increase in energy. They may see some benefits in other way. They might even get a stimulation that causes them to use the bathroom. But you're taking a supplement. Once you stop taking the sea moss, that goes away. You didn't necessarily fix the problem. And you don't want to just sit there and take sea moss each and every day, because it's not going to allow you to be comfortable in doing what you need to do for yourself. Because ultimately, the end goal is to not have to take anything. And I understand sea moss have 90 of the 112 different minerals that the body needs, but what's the point of relying on something like that to help you get through a process and not doing the other things that are more important? Because I can sit here and take this for X amount of time, but eventually your body's going to get used to it. It's as simple as that. It's not going to have the same stimulating effect that it once had. You're going to be finding yourself trying to take more or add other things to it to stimulate you the way that it once did. And this is only going to become problematic because eventually your body has to still eliminate these things. So it's not giving you the energy that it once did, but it's still requiring the same amount of energy to be eliminated. So now you're in the negative because your body's taking energy from its vital sources to eliminate this product instead of actually gaining or benefiting from it. So sea moss is something that many people use for many different reasons. I'm against it in my household because I don't take supplements. I used to consume sea moss. I understand exactly how it works. Hell, I used to sell sea moss. But as I grew an understanding of I'm not helping nobody by selling them sea moss, I'm only putting them in a bigger hole, I then decided to move away from that. You're talking about a business I had for multiple years doing. I decided that I didn't want to go that pathway because I didn't help anybody get better because of that process. So understanding that if you're taking sea moss, it's a crutch. You don't want to be dependent on the crutch. So start understanding other ways to continue to get better through your normal ways of living. I'm not saying you got to stop taking it, but also understand that it's not going to be your answer or your solution to your problem. So, if you're taking and consuming it and you're seeing the benefits from it, if you decide to keep using it, go ahead. But you should definitely continue to understand these other lifestyle pathways to get better without the consumption of some type of supplements. Let's see what else we got. Are we allowed to eat nuts? Are we allowed to eat nuts this week? I wanted to add walnuts and pumpkin seeds to my kale salad. Yeah, that's Marshall. I believe Marshall. That's the right approach. I put nuts and seeds all over my salads, particularly hemp seeds and pumpkin seeds and things like that. So they're definitely allowed to go in there. They're going to be high in that magnesium and potassium and all those things that you need. The zinc also. So add those to the mix. Preferably raw nuts, unsalted, because they're going to give you the best bang for your buck and not increase your sodium levels and things like that. So yeah, nuts right on top of it, definitely going to be a good thing. Michelle, thank you for answering your question. Yeah, my pleasure. Excuse me. My doctor told me that I'm borderline diabetic. What should you suggest? Check your dietary habits. If you're talking about type 2 diabetes, you need to analyze the foods that you're consuming. I'm not just talking about sodas and sugars and things like that, because one thing about it, diabetes is directly a cause of, directly related to your fat intake. The sugars increase the blood sugar levels and cause other issues as well, but you got to understand what you're consuming as a whole, and the diabetes conversation is a whole lot of conversation to have, and we'll have that another time because we're on a high blood pressure route right now. But I do have a book. I have several books. I'll go pull it up in a few that I can recommend for you. So matter of fact, Miss Clara, DM me and I'll go ahead and get you some more information about that. That way you can just start to your own research to get better alignment. But main thing is just being able to connect the dots between it, because if you're borderline, right now is the time to start taking action to correct these issues. And being in this group is going to definitely help you do so, because again, these same type of changes that we're talking about are lifestyle changes that go in alignment with helping you correcting these type of conditions. Do you eat the apples with the skin? Is that better? Yeah. Now it's a double-edged thing, because depending on the apples that you're getting or where you're getting them from, it could be an issue. A lot of times they put like the little wax on top of the apples to protect them from like the bugs and things like that. A lot of times with different fertilizers and just random things. So this could play a role in just like, pesticides and, things like that. But my thing is I eat apples with the skin because the sun penetrates the skin, and the top layer right up under the skin for many fruits is where the bulk of the nutrients are. So understanding that going right through the skin, cucumbers, apples, different fruits, is right. The avocados, that first layer up under that skin, that's where the best and the bulk of the nutrients lay at. So eating what's there is going to be ideal. So if you're going organic, that's always going to be the best. If it's not organic, make sure you're cleaning them properly. I don't use any soap or solutions. I usually just soak them and wipe them down with a towel. And then that usually helps out with what I'm doing. Some people use apple cider vinegar and things like that. It's all a personal preference, but buying organic is always going to be best. And after that, just cleaning them properly will help. It's not going to eliminate any pesticides. I have a question about cabbage. Is this a good vegetable to assist in blood pressure management? One thing is about this, when it comes down to different vegetables, they all assist in many different ways. It's not just, eat this for blood pressure, or eat this for diabetes, or eat this for cancer. That's kind of the misconception that a lot of people get about, food. Because we see a lot of TikTok videos and Instagram videos saying, hey, eat this one food if you have this problem. It don't work like that. It's no superfood. There's no such thing as a superfood. Now, this food may be higher in X, Y, Z than this other food, but nothing makes it super, because it's not the food that does anything for the body. The body reacts to the food that you give it. You can take this food and sit it on the plate and have it there, and it's not going to do nothing to you. When you consume it, your body responds and reacts to everything that's inside of it. So understanding that the more you give it and the more diverse the foods that you give it, the more of the tools that you're going to provide your body with so it can function at a higher level. So understanding the term superfood, this was created by farmers and scientists when they were trying to push a product. There's no such thing as, no one food is going to do more for you than any other food, particularly because it's all about how you diversify and give your body everything that it needs. So understanding that, when it comes down to cabbage, it shouldn't be just about eating more cabbage. It should be about eating more whole foods. And that's kind of where my message always lies. Eat more whole foods. Give your body a combination of food. Eat the rainbow. Get you some green, some purple, some red, some yellow, some orange, some whatever other color I missed. Getting a combination, and that's going to give you an assortment of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, just the enzymes in general, and that's going to help your body build itself up. Your body is the one natural healer. Your body does everything that it needs to do on its own, but you have to provide it with the prerequisites that it needs: fresh air, sunlight, wholesome food, rest, exercise, healthy relationships. It needs to be in order and in alignment, because anywhere that something's missing, it has the potential to cause and offset problems. And many people, they're dealing with multiple issues. So instead of just focusing on one food, add an abundance of whole foods, and that's going to help you get to the root cause of your problem a lot better. Next one. Bad weather here in Mississippi. Internet acting up, so I'm going to have to log in later. Thank you. No, it's my pleasure, Miss Julia. I appreciate you for tuning in. What kind of salad dressing do you use? I don't use any salad dressings. In the book, I gave you guys a list of dressings that you can actually utilize. Very, very simple. No salts, no oils, no sugars. Salt, oils, and sugars goes against everything that we're trying to do as a whole when it comes down to managing blood pressure. And as we continue to move through these different challenges, we'll be breaking those down specifically so you can understand the why behind it. I don't want you guys to just say, oh, I'm not eating salt, oils, and sugar because Kellen says so, but I want you to understand why. That way you can connect the dots for yourself, do the further research that you may want to do for yourself, and then be able to pinpoint like, okay, I see this, I need to dial back from this. And then I could be able to get myself in order and have a better understanding of what I need to do a little bit better. Lewis, Mr. Rogers, can I add berries? Yeah, berries are going to be great. Add an assortment: blueberries, strawberries, cherries, blackberries, raspberries. Berries are going to be great, full of antioxidants. Those antioxidants fight off those free radicals. Those free radicals causes oxidative stress, and that oxidative stress breaks down those blood vessels. So you get more antioxidants in there, you got more soldiers to go fight the war that's going on inside of your blood vessels, and that's going to tilt the scales in your favor and help you with the rejuvenating effects. Excuse me. The balsamic vinaigrette and avocado lime too is the bomb. Yeah, balsamic vinaigrette, and that's one of my favorite ones. I have a balsamic vinegar that I typically use in almost every other salad here and there, but that's one of my bases and my go-tos because it just tastes good. Olive oil, yep, same thing. Olive oil falls into the same process. Miss Clara, is coconut sugar good to use? No, and I'm explaining why. That way you can get a better understanding. Where should I start? All right, think of it like this. Most people try to find a replacement for things that they want to have. Instead of going with white sugar, some people might choose brown sugar, or they might try to go for coconut sugar or agave or maple syrup, or try to find some type of alternative sweetener. So there's never going to be anything that's good. It's just going to be some that are less bad. And just because it's less bad doesn't necessarily take away from the effects that it will ultimately have. And I'm going to talk about coconut sugar in particular. That way you can understand why I don't think that is good and why it's not good. I'm not going to say why I don't think, because it's the science behind it. So when you take a coconut, take a coconut off the tree, it's a whole food. It's natural in its natural state. You could cut it open, take the coconut meat out of it, consume that, drink the juice or water out of it, consume that, take the hulls, use it for whatever you want to do. You could use the whole thing. But when you want coconut sugar, you have to take that coconut, break it down and process it. And now you have to isolate certain compounds from it and strip it of everything that it needs. You got to take out the water, take out the fiber, take out a lot of the enzymes and the nutrients, and then you're just left with that compound that's going to make the sugar. So once you start to denature that coconut and remove everything of value from it, now you're left with a drug. Now think of it this way. When they make cocaine, they take the cocoa leaf and they process it, they break it down, they extract it, and they take the compound out of it. It's the same process. It just works a little bit differently in the body. So when you take a compound and you isolate it from its whole natural source, at best in the body, it's going to be a drug. I mean, at best it's going to be a drug, and at worst, it's going to be a toxin to the body. So it's going to work in either way, whatever it is, whether it's a drug, whether it's cocaine, whether it's sugar, whether it's oil, it's going to be either a drug or it's going to be a toxin. So understanding that when you're consuming that food that's isolated, it's going to have one or two of those effects. And when you're on the road to rejuvenating and recovering and strengthening your body, you don't need any other type of stimulation from any other angle. So eliminating it completely will help you move further down that path and not be reliant on these different type of things, because even though they make them and say, oh, this is this kind of sugar and it's better, it's not white sugar, it's from a coconut. We associate coconuts with healthy and all these great things. But once you start to denature it, it can become some of the worst things in the world. So understanding that whole process of breaking that whole food down and turning it into something else, that's another triggering effect that you want to do away with, especially when you're trying to make these type of lifestyle changes. So understanding that is really, really important. What else we got? Did you say yes or no to olive oil? It's always going to be no to olive oil, no to all oils. Olive oil, flaxseed oil. I can't even think of it. So many different oils out there, but no to every oil. Now you're going to see things like fish oil and what else is it called? And black seed oil and all those other medicinal style oils. You don't necessarily cook or use them the same way. So they're not necessarily in that category, because those are more medicinal oils that have, medicinal properties and stimulating effects and things like that. So you're not consuming them in large amounts like that. But when it comes down to all other oils, olive oil, flaxseed oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, whatever oil, if it's an oil that's isolated from any other compound, no matter if it's organic, non-refined, or whatever label they want to put on it, all these oils have some type of effect on the body that's gonna trigger different actions that are gonna go against you trying to manage your blood pressure, whether it's the excess calories, the damaging to the endothelium system, or many other effects. And I didn't want to get into this conversation because the oil is a whole thing. I'd rather have a direct conversation with you guys, but understanding that it goes for all oils, and we'll get into that conversation as we continue through this group. What about hemp oil? Hemp oil falls into that same category. Understood. Thanks for your explanation on coconut sugar. Thank you, Miss Clara. I appreciate you for tuning in. Good. So I don't see any other questions there. And I think we did a good job wrapping up the magnesium section of this workshop. So now continue posting your pictures and your videos for the throughout this challenge. You guys have been doing a very, very good job. And stay right there. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. All right, so I have what I have in my hand right here. I think I got 3 of them. Yeah, I got 3 of them. But what I have in my hand right here, I'm gonna give y'all a quick flash. It's a golden ticket. I ain't gonna show y'all too much of it because some of y'all might be reading and try to understand what it is. But I got a golden ticket right here. I got 3 of them, and these golden tickets I'm gonna give out at the end of the challenge. And what they're going to be a random drawing. I'm going to put you guys' name inside of a system, everybody that signed up, and the computer's going to pick it. But these golden tickets here are going to be something special for people that actively participated in the challenge, showed up each and every day, and did the work that they needed to do. Took their blood pressure, wrote in their journals, posted pictures of their fruits and salads. all those basic things. I'm going to reward you guys for just showing up for yourselves. I got these golden tickets right here. I got 3 of them that I'm going to mail out and send to the people that get randomly selected by my computer system. That way I can reward you guys just for the great behavior and just showing up for yourselves. No catch, no gimmicks, nothing that you have to do. Simply just continue to do what you're doing and participating in this challenge. I'm going to do the drawing next Friday, and I'm gonna say Friday. I'm doing next Saturday once the challenge actually completes, and that way we can all just continue to get better and move forward. But I got my golden tickets here. It's a great surprise that I definitely want to surprise you guys with, and just continue to show up throughout this challenge and do what you need to do. And 3 lucky winners are going to come away with something very, very special that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives, and basically just be able to enjoy this summer. I see a couple other questions coming in now. How can I get an ebook without signing up for the challenge? Again, check your email, Miss Mildred, because if you sign up for the challenge and you pay the $10, you should have it right inside of your email, inside your box. Check your spam folder. If it's not in your spam folder, send me your email address, and I'll make sure it gets sent out to you again. But other than that, I don't see any other questions. I don't want to take up too much of your time because right now you see my eyes getting heavy. It's technically bedtime for me, but I still have some other things that I need to do, and I like to focus on my rest, but it might look like I might be shortchanging myself. So keep posting those pictures. I'll see you guys tomorrow again, and we'll be breaking down the next session inside this inside of our workbook for our challenge. So until then, peace, guys. Thank you.